In the small village of Millbrook, nestled between mountains and river, no one expected that Tuesday morning would change everything. The rain started at dawn, gentle at first, then relentless. Max, a 6-year-old Border Collie, stood at the fence of Thompson's farm, ears perked. Something was wrong. His instincts, honed through years of protecting this land, screamed danger. He scanned the field around the Millbrookers. Then he heard it, a sound that made his blood run cold. The old barn, weathered by decades, groaned under the weight of water cascading from the hillside, and beneath that ominous creaking, a cry. Max bolted through the rising water, his powerful legs churning against the current. Inside the barn's collapsing corner, he found them. Whiskers, the barn cat, and her 4 newborn kittens, trapped beneath a fallen beam, water rising around them inch by terrifying inch. For a moment, they stared at each other, ancient enemies. Whiskers hissed weakly, protecting her babies even now. But Max didn't hesitate. He grabbed the beam in his jaws and pulled with everything he had. Muscles bunched and shook beneath his drenched coat as the timber groaned. Splinters rained into the rising water, and the cats and the clock line, and the beam wouldn't budge. The beam wouldn't budge. Max released it and did something he'd never done before. He howled. Not the protective bark of a farm dog, but a desperate, piercing cry that echoed across the flooded fields. Max needed help. Tom Thompson heard that howl and knew. Max never cried out unless lives were at stake. Within minutes, he and 3 neighbors were wading through waist-deep water toward the barn. When they reached the doorway, Max met them, urgency in every bark.
Everyone to the wagon! Higher ground! Now! Come on, take my hand! Move!
Hello, people!
Max, stay.
Max! Stop what? Oh my God.
Good boy, Max.
What's the beams?
Easy, I got it. You're done now, boy. There's still one in there.
And his neighbors formed a human chain, Max swimming between them, guiding them to the trapped family. Sarah Chen, the village veterinarian, arrived with a plastic storage bin, a makeshift ark. Young Miguel Santos, just 17, dove underwater repeatedly, clearing debris. But the beam was still too heavy, wedged tight by the collapsing structure. They needed leverage, and time was something they didn't have. Old Jacob Miller arrived on his tractor, the engine roaring against the storm. They attached chains to the beam, their last chance. As the tractor pulled, the beam shifted. Hope surged, until half the roof caved in. Sarah lunged forward, covering the cats with her own body as timber rained down. She emerged bleeding but determined, cradling 2 kittens. But Whiskers and 2 more kittens were now buried deeper, and the barn was seconds from total collapse. Tom ordered everyone out. Too dangerous. But Max had a different idea. Before anyone could stop him, he disappeared into the darkest corner of the barn, a crawl space beneath the collapsed roof. For 2 minutes that felt like hours, there was nothing but the roar of water and the crack of breaking wood. Then, impossibly, Max emerged, soaking wet, a tiny orange kitten clamped gently in his jaws. He turned back immediately. The villagers watched in awe as he made that dangerous journey again, and again. But Whiskers, weakened and pinned, couldn't be moved the same way. The mother cat had given everything to protect her babies, and now she was fading. Miguel made a decision that still echoes in Millbrook. If Max can go back, so can I. The teenager disappeared into the death trap. Tom screamed for him to return. 30 seconds passed. 45. The barn groaned, its final warning. Then Miguel burst through the surface, Whiskers clutched to his chest. They made it 15 feet when the barn exploded into splinters. The flood claimed the building in one violent gulp, but every life inside had been saved. On the muddy bank, Sarah worked frantically on Whiskers while villagers wrapped the kittens in warm towels. Max, exhausted beyond measure, laid his head beside the mother cat, his breath mixing with hers. For 10 heartbreaking minutes, Whiskers didn't move. Then, a cough, a breath, and finally, a weak purr. The reunion between mother and kittens brought tears even from the toughest farmers. The village transformed into a recovery center. Whiskers and her kittens stayed at Sarah's clinic for 2 weeks, growing stronger each day. Max visited every morning, and gradually, something remarkable happened. The cat family began greeting him with purrs instead of hisses. Miguel's bravery earned him the town's Medal of Valor. But he insisted the medal belonged to Max. The dog had taught them all something profound: heroism isn't about species or instinct. When Whiskers was strong enough, Sarah knew where she belonged, Thompson's farm, with Max. Some said it wouldn't work, that old instincts would return. But they were wrong. Max and Whiskers became inseparable, raising the kittens together. The farm became famous, not for crops or livestock, but for the family that proved love transcends all boundaries. 3 years later, the village erected a statue at the spot where the barn once stood, Max and Whiskers, side by side, watching over 4 small kittens. It reminds every visitor of that terrible, beautiful day when a dog refused to see an enemy, and instead saw a family worth dying for. And in choosing compassion over instinct, Max didn't just save lives. He saved souls.